What's up, leaders? Today's question comes from Julia. Julia asks, I have a few people on my team with really bad attitudes. I've addressed it with them before, and they've changed for all of 2 weeks, and then they went back to their usual selves. How do I get them to change, or do I need to fire them? Great question, Julia. Thank you so much for asking it. So, how to deal with bad attitudes on your team? This one I think is pretty straightforward as long as you're doing it consistently. So, put it very simply, you need to define what your team culture is. And when I say team culture, I mean, what are the beliefs and the behaviors that everyone on the team needs to have? For example, everyone on the team needs to believe that we treat each other with respect, and a behavior to mirror that belief would be, we treat each other with kindness and support. Or another example could be, we believe in being open and honest with each other. And the behavior that reflects that belief is we don't talk shit about each other behind each other's backs. So you need to design what you want your team culture to look like. That way there's a very clear expectation you can set with them when it comes to their attitude and their behaviors. So once you have that culture defined, and we teach that on our Leadership 101 training course, so feel free to go check that out. But once you have that culture set up, you can point to it and say, these are the expectations that you need to follow if you're going to be a part of this team, and you're not following it by doing A, B, and C. Now, what's going to happen after that is they'll, apologize, or they'll try to justify why they were doing, A, B, and C. And you just need to hold firm and say, okay, the expectations though are that you follow the team culture. What do I need to do to help you to make sure that you're following this 100% of the time moving forward? After you have that conversation with them, they might say, oh, I don't need any help, or, well, can you do this one thing for me? And you can work it out with them. But once that conversation is done, they'll probably be on their best behavior for a little while. And then if you ever see them revert back, immediately address it with them and say, hey, we had this conversation, we discussed this type of behavior, you know that it's not acceptable, so why are you doing it? Get their perspective, make sure they feel heard, make sure that you're offering support, but you also need to have a very clear sequence of consequences if the behavior continues. You can let them know after that first meeting, okay, if we see this again, I'm going to address it with you, and that'll be a verbal warning. If I see it again, I'll address it with you again, and that'll be a written warning. If I see it again, I'll address it with you, that will be a second written warning. And if I keep seeing it after that, it's going to be a termination because this behavior's got to stop. By clearly identifying what the progression of consequences is going to be if you continue this behavior, then you're putting the ball in their court essentially. They know that if they keep it up, they're not going to have a job. But if you don't list out the consequences, and so far they've been able to act a certain way and get away with it, you've essentially taught them that acting this way basically just results in me telling you to please stop, and then you keep doing it anyways. So you need to change that line of thinking. You need to let them know that, this isn't going to slide anymore. These are going to be the consequences that are going to happen if you keep this up. If you need support from me in order to change your behaviors, please let me know, because I want to keep you on the team. But I can't keep you on the team if this is how you're going to act. Thank you so much for asking that question, Julia. I really appreciate it. I know there are a ton of teams out there going through the same issues with bad apples, and leaders don't know how to address it with them. So hopefully this helps, and I wish you the best of luck.